it's Ross Patterson here again. You remember my theme is Hannah as a prototype, though of course she's a real person, of an ordinary person who really made a difference. Hannah starting in a very backward situation, as it were, with a husband who also had another wife, the other wife, Penina, who I'm calling Coral. Penina in the original can either mean coral or it can mean jewel. Maybe she's a bit of both. Hannah had no children, and Hannah's name means grace. And I'm dealing with the reasons why Hannah as an ordinary person made a difference. In other words, the pitfalls, the traps, the stumbles that she avoided. In the previous session I dealt with the first one where Elkanah, her husband, says to her in verse 8, 1 Samuel 1, the whole thing's 1 Samuel 1, "Why are you crying, Hannah?" Elkanah would ask, "Why aren't you eating? Why be downhearted just because you have no children? You have me, isn't that better than 10 sons? And I said, don't settle for good. That's not the best. That's wonderful that her husband loved her, and she loved her husband, I'm sure, but she had a sense of destiny. Please do not throw away your sense of destiny for the good or even for the bad. All right, let's move on to the second trap, the second pitfall, and it comes just before that. It says every year they went up to offer sacrifice, and it says this, verse 6, "So Penina would taunt Hannah," I mean this is ongoing, "and make fun of her because the Lord had kept her from having children." Year after year it went on the same. Penina would taunt Hannah as they went to the tabernacle. Each time Hannah would be reduced to tears and would not even eat. Okay, so let's settle some things there. Number one, Penina was coral. Penina, you touched Penina and you bled. It was painful. It was difficult. Number two, it was year after year. Every year they went up to the temple. Every year, I imagine it got worse because Penina might have had more children in the intervening year. And what you have there is every year. Now, I'm sure you've thought, as I have on occasion, that one incident is painful, but year after year. I mean, imagine this. It's 2 months before they make the trip, and she's thinking it's going to happen all over again. And thirdly, it really hurt. It was real. I mean, Hannah wasn't some kind of super saint who didn't feel anything. Hannah felt it. It was painful. She waited for it. It came. It stabbed her. She wept, and so on. But the fact is, Hannah didn't give way to bitterness. That's my second point. There was real pain, real difficulty, year after year, but she did not surrender to bitterness. She didn't give way to anger. Anger against Penina, I don't suppose Penina was her best friend, I have to be honest, but she managed to remain civil and to survive that situation. She didn't blame her husband. That's her favorite trick. It's your fault, your fault, your fault. No, she didn't give way to that. She knew her husband loved her. And most important, she didn't turn on the Lord, though it actually says twice that the Lord had closed her womb. All right, so what are we actually saying here? That all of us have that kind of situation. If you don't have anything that rings any bells with that, oh, I'd love to meet you. You must be a super saint or live in a gold cage somewhere or something. All of us have things like that. It may be family, things that are unfair in the family. It may be church, rumors spreading that are about us, that really cut to the quick. It may be work where a boss prefers us, or workmates treat us for no logical reason badly. It may be in your service to the Lord, not just in church, but your service to the Lord, Why does the pastor never recognize you? Why does the pastor never ask you to share or preach? Why does he have his favorites? I mean, a very different level, but I have beautiful, beautiful 5 daughters, 2 of whom are twins. And when the twins were at high school, they put on a very impressive fashion show on the kind of school speech day kind of thing, or just before that. And the headmaster hops up to thank those who'd done that, didn't even know their names, and thanked somebody else. Our daughters, honestly, because of the life of missionaries that we've lived, maybe could feel that why didn't they get things that others did? Every parent makes decisions, allowing to watch television, allowing to eat sweets, allowing to do this, allowing to be out till what time. Very easy to feel it's not fair. Husbands and wives, that's going to happen too, isn't it? Why can't your husband or your wife behave in the wonderful way that your best friend's husband or wife does, or vice versa? You get what I mean. So what I'm saying is, all of these things happen. We live with pain. We live with difficulty. Paul, the apostle, the mega hero, Paul has this wonderful passage, well, it's not so wonderful, where he talks of shipwreck, a day and a night in the sea. He talks of hunger, he talks of sleeplessness, he talks of stonings, he talks of beatings. Paul's secret was the same as Hannah's secret. He did not surrender to bitterness. So here's the second trap. Here's the second battle. Here's the second difficulty. And let me give you 3 quick keys. Number 1, keep that relationship with your father. One of my other heroes, Paul's the mega one, but there are some sub-mega ones under that, is Selwyn Hughes. If you know him, probably better known in England than the States, used to write Every Day with Jesus, but you can still get it. I recommend it. Every Day with Jesus, if you can get it. Beautiful teaching. And Selwyn Hughes, within 2 years, this man of God who's blessing millions, who's serving the Lord, a heart for revival, his writings going out every day to tens of thousands of people. Within 2 years, his father died, his wife died, and his only 2 sons died. And Selwyn Hughes commented, this is my description of what he said. I didn't lose it with the Lord, but I couldn't pray. It's not that he didn't want to pray. It was just so painful in his heart. There was a time he needed to rely on the prayers of others, but he still looked to the Lord. The great China Inland Mission, at a time when things went very bad, a number of people were killed. It was said the same of Hudson Taylor, the great leader. Couldn't pray as he suffered so many missionaries killed and so on. So these things, they're not unusual. Don't lose that relationship with the Lord, because you know and I know he has good things in store. So the second point is realize where at least some of these things come from. Of course, the Lord is going to use them. It's the enemy of your soul. The devil wants you to walk away from the Lord. The devil wants you to lose what the Lord has for you. And number 3, it's quite hot in here. You probably see I'm sweating a bit, so we're going to finish soon. Asian aircon, the aircon at our place makes too much noise, so I've got a Kalro, as the Chinese would say. I've got to be hot for a while, but we're almost done. Number 3 is vision. See, what kept Paul through that shipwreck and this and that and the other, the sleeplessness, the prison unjustly, what kept Paul? The vision. The vision. So there you have it. Sustain the relationship with God. Wait on the Lord. As I say, sometimes there may be times where it's so painful that you couldn't do it. You couldn't pray that well, but wait on him. Put on some YouTube worship music that is real worship music. And secondly, sustain that vision. Sustain that vision. Sustain that vision. Paul did that. Selwyn Hughes did that. Hannah did that. There are Peninnahs in our lives. They're sent to make us less than God wants us to be. They're sent to steal our relationship with Abba Father. They're sent to steal His call on our lives. Don't let them do it. If you need to, go and talk to a friend, a spiritual friend, who will pray for you and help you. A final example, I mean, it's a pretty weird one, but when I was in high school, there was a cricket team. The school had a cricket team. And for reasons I won't go into, which I felt were very unjust, I was dropped from the team. Hurt like mad. My Latin master, who loved the Lord, came up to me. He was a bit abrupt, maybe a bit Latinesque, and said, "Well, I think the Lord is just testing your love for Him." And I can remember that. I was, 17 at the time, and now I'm 74. So, yeah, it sank home. And I think there may be gentler ways of saying it, but it was still incredibly valuable. And I got back in the team. I had an opportunity, made a lot of runs, and finished as a member of the team. So, brothers and sisters, these things happen. The devil knows how to hurt us. Father says, "Look to me, child. Look to me, child. I will make a way." All right? Thank you.